Oh yes, brand new spanking Ask the Murloc, new, improved, and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for the idea. Who gave me the idea? Angel Girl gave me the idea, and thank you for doing the voice there. Also, that was Leto doing the first and third Murloc. Yeah, we will be replacing the third Leto, or the second Leto. Oh god, I'm confused. Too many Letos, leave me alone then. Yeah. So, yeah, we will be actually having real voices for the Murloc in the foreseeable future. OMFG hacks, indeed. Yeah. Also, a little bit of news about WoW Radio. There will possibly, maybe, be new shows coming. I'm not going to reveal anything more, but we may be putting some new shows on the air, in addition to what we've already got. Oh yes. WoW Radio shall be expanding in the near future. Now, the other thing is that many, many moons ago, when we actually did BlizzCon, as some of you well know, we promised videos and a DVD. Now, the DVD can't really happen, basically because our best footage went bye-bye. Now, the reason for this is still unknown. It may be sabotage, it may be the little pixies, it may just be our terribly bad luck. However, we do have quite a bit of footage still to put up, including all the stuff from most, I say, of the panels, and a whole bunch of stuff that we broadcast, and our commentary and all that kind of stuff. That is in the works. There is already, I'm already looking right now at a section of the video that's been edited and that is ready for uploading at some point by our one and only Dunkor, of some rather disturbing happenings with the WoW Radio crew. The WoW Radio crew? No, I'm not drunk, folks. I'm perfectly sober. I'm just quite a bit tired. Yeah, so we will have that. And hopefully that we'll be starting to upload these videos for the next couple of weeks. That one's almost ready to go. We should hopefully have some other stuff, including the keynote speeches, the panels, our commentary, our little tour of BlizzCon that Slanik did, which could no doubt be a little bit disturbing. Interviews with people like Nobunaga, Richard Knack, and all that kind of stuff. One other interesting announcement is within the next few weeks, Blue Please will be interviewing the guys from Return, as they're well known, also known as Terran and Ezra, makers of Return. We'll be talking about what the future of Return may bring, and of course the new video coming out, which actually features some of the WoW Radio crew in it, and that's... I can't even remember the name of the characters, but yeah, they've actually taken the characters from Return and put them in BlizzCon video. It's very impressive stuff. It's actually on their website, in fact, rufuscube.com. Go and look at the trailer for the BlizzCon video. You'll actually see Slanik in there. I kid ye not. Anyway. Right. We be discussing Anchorage. So let's get on with it. The war effort. I've got a few more things coming in as regards to that. Now, Killer Kane said, I think Anchorage was a bit of a bad idea on Blizzard's part, only because they are basically giving the gold farmers a bunch of money on a silver plate. It's really crap that the farmers are putting linen cloth and rune cloth and crap up for so much. I make weapons for my guild with copper bars and tin and bronze, and when I'm lazy, I usually just buy them off the edge, but the rising price is causing me to not be able to do that. Now, that's understandable. Again, another concern. It's interesting just how many concerns this actual event is bringing up. All these sort of little niggles about the game, little problems. This event, and something this large, is bound to highlight stuff like this. And it's not necessarily a bad thing either. Clean out some of the problems with the game. It's pointing out the problems with the economy. Now, whenever you require items, let's take a recent example, the Christmas quests. Whenever you require stuff like the Wintervale cookies, which were required for a quest, what do you need for those? Giant eggs. What happens? Giant egg prices increase significantly. And if you wonder what the clicking is in the background, I'm playing with a box of cufflinks. Don't ask me why, it's just fun. Don't judge me. Anyway, yeah. So, that's going to force the price up. Giant eggs went through the roof. Wintervale cookies were ridiculously expensive. Now, fortunately, that's only a seasonal thing. And it will drop off. Now, again, perhaps you can argue that the whole Anchorage event is going to be a seasonal thing. It'll be a seasonal rise in price, and that's going to fix itself over time. But it does demonstrate just how fragile the economy really is. We already have problems like this already. Runecloth is already far too expensive, basically because you can use it for grinding your rep up. And this has just highlighted the whole rep grinding thing. If you make something that desirable, then the price is going to go through the roof. Now, it goes beyond the usual standards of supply and demand, in my opinion. Supply and demand is fine. You know, that's how free market economy works. That's good. But you get to the stage where it becomes ridiculous. 5 gold for a stack of runecloth. 1 gold 20 for a stack of linen is nuts. That is beyond supply and demand into the realms of Zomg greedy. Now, there are 2 people at fault here. The people that put it up for that price. No, there's 3 people at fault. The people that put it up for that price, the people who are stupid enough to buy it, and Blizzard for creating the event. We've got to blame Blizzard for something, haven't we? Yeah. It does demonstrate a fragile economy that we have. Now, whether or not anything can be done about that is questionable. But the fact remains, this can happen, and is happening, across the board. Prices on those items are skyrocketing through the roof. And it's another kick in the arse to crafting. This has always been a little bit of a pet bugbear for me. Crafting has taken so many kicks in the teeth recently, it's untrue. Even with new crafting recipes being introduced, it still gets kicked in the arse over and over again. Why? Mainly because there are better drops. That's the big thing. The drops are better, therefore why bother spending all your money? This goes all the way back, even to when they first released Battlegrounds, where people argued that the Arcanite Reaper would become obsolete because you could get the Unstoppable Force for free. Now, it's not necessarily that you could get the Unstoppable Force for free, you couldn't, but you'd have to grind for it. And the actual price was a lot less. So people said, oh, well, why bother with the Arcanite Reaper? I can get one of these. Some people actually said, oh, why bother with the Arcanite Reaper? Because I can get an Ice Barbed Spear, which is only slightly worse, for free. Now, of course, the Arcanite Reaper is a better weapon, but is it that much better to justify paying the amount of money you have to pay for it? That is questionable. And that, again, highlights another problem. How can we craft if many of the materials that we require for basic crafting are too expensive? We can't craft it, we can't farm them either because people are farming them left, right and centre for easy money and lots of rep. So it's a double kick in the ass to the crafting community, what little of it there is left, because let's face it, crafting is becoming obsolete and it's a crying shame. It really is. So that again highlights another issue. This whole Anchorage war effort thing is like a big flashlight. And with that flashlight, you're looking under the bed and finding lots of little creepy crawlies and things which you probably shouldn't have under there. All these little problems, these little bugbears running about. It's certainly quite interesting from a discussion perspective. And I'm hoping this will actually highlight some issues and Blizzard will come and think, well, yeah, we've actually got a few problems here that we should probably sort out. Very interesting, very intriguing. I'm liking the perspectives you're giving me here, folks, so send more. themurloc@gmail.com. themurloc@gmail.com. Dragonar says, okay, concerning Anchorage and future updates, I wonder if Blizzard are making a mistake, since it seems more and more high levels are leaving the game or becoming casual when they've been to MC, Black Moon Lake, etc. So soon, there will only be a few guilds that can actually get into instances like Anchorage, since the difficulty reward thing has become worse ever since Black Moon Lake and Zul'Gurub. Possibly. An interesting argument that I'm going to avoid until the next segment, because I've got a whole thing about casual versus hardcore coming up. Interesting. Now, Paino, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Says he got an orb of deception for handing in 10 thick leather, so it does pay off. Yeah, it does. Obviously it does. It's quite similar to the way that the whole Darkwing Fair thing worked. It's simple. You can just go and hand in a bunch of tickets at the Darkwing Fair, and you'll get a prize bag. That prize bag could contain blues. I've got a few blues out of it. It could also contain greens or a stack of meat or whatever. It's like a lottery of sorts, which is quite interesting. The war effort thing is similar, as is the whole thing down in Silithis. There's an interesting running theme here. The newer content, the Darkmoon Fair, the war effort, Silithis, all comes down to this whole prize bag lottery kind of thing. Now, those of you who have been to Silithis will be aware that there is a quest line which involves killing Abyssal Templars, Dukes, and Lords, and that killing them and getting their crests, or their rings and all that kind of thing, handing them in will get you a bag of spoils, a sack of spoils, or a chest of spoils, which are basically containers which contain random goodies. Now, it has to be said, the stuff that I've got from them has been rubbish. Cheese. It's all been cheese. Ugh. But apparently you can get epics and blues and all that kind of good stuff from them. And you can, because I've seen people that have managed it. They're lucky bastards and quite frankly don't deserve it, but there you go. The lottery principle. Very interesting. It's just an intriguing point more than anything. Is it a good thing? And who is it aimed at? Why is the Anchorage content got this stuff in? Obviously, because you need to reward people and encourage them to hand in stuff. But who is it aimed at, really? Who's the prize bag thing aimed at? When that guy got an Orb of Deception, you've got to wonder, who's that going to benefit more? Is it going to benefit a level 60 in full Wrath with an epic mount, or is it going to benefit a sub 60 that needs the money? All of this content is aimed at lower level and or non-raiding players. I'm not going to say casual players, because the point that I'm going to come on to later is that you can be a casual raider, and that being a raider does not necessarily make you a hardcore player. But anyway, that's by the by. It's aimed at your casual player. Because let's face it, otherwise why would a casual player get involved in the war effort? Answer is simple. Rep and loots. You can get an Orb of Deception, folks. Random blues. World drop blues in these bags, apparently. So there's a reason. So maybe Blizzard haven't been quite as silly as we first thought. Perhaps they did think this through and they thought, well, okay, why would casuals get involved in this? I'm going to come back into the casual and hardcore thing a little bit later on. So I have a bag of worms. Bag of worms? Can of worms to open. Whole sack of angry bees. Ugh. You listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. I think it's time for a bit of Nightwish. Why not, folks? It's 10th Man Down. Enjoy.